Commedia Hey. Did the link work?
Hello. I'm on. Finally worked it.
Was it the link that you used?
I'm just going to put stuff up.
Oh, am I?
Yeah. Just log in, your Google account, then you should be able to choose Hangouts.
Not yours, right there.
I think on stuff that doesn't pick up. And maybe that might make it work. Or you have to go here. Excuse me.
Hi, David.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Seems like Asia and Australia are having some technical things sorted. But have you met Deepak?
I don't know that I have.
He is in India. He does well, I'm certain he's the little picture of plants. So when that gets sorted. Deepak, can you hear us? I guess not. I want to say he's in Bombay. I met him in the Commedia Festival in Toronto a couple years ago.
What was that? The one in Windsor or the one in Toronto?
Yeah, I'm sorry, the one in Windsor.
Okay, then I think because I was there too.
And then Tony's. I'm not sure what's up with Tony.
I can
Echo
hear.
chamber. Can you hear us, Deepak?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Good.
I think I may be causing a feedback. Let me grab a pair of headphones.
It might also be Tony.
Yeah, I'm gonna go grab a pair just in case.
Okay.
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
We have 3 viewers. I think we should be able to do a Q&A thing, even if they can't actually join.
How did you get it?
Yeah, I went back to. No, hang on, that might be just watching. Yeah. So. I tried that one, the blue one. That one, sorry. Yeah, that thing. Oh, you just have it. Oh, you just right. Let's scroll down and see where the Hangout is. That's the one. Click on that.
I'm excited to see what you draw, David.
Oh well, I don't know. Let's see if I can do it.
While they get sorted, let's see if I can draw you.
Usually there's an icon.
Yeah. Try that.
I draw Tony. It's like he's busy.
That's right, yeah. That link there. That's what I point. That's what I use.
Aha, there we go.
You're too dark.
Okay, then that's when you click the access. Sure. I brought some headphones in case. See, give myself.
There we go. That's good. All right.
Okay, I'm selecting allow. I'm selecting okay. Let's see if it's
Yeah, I didn't know it was going to be a problem.
Hey, you're not as super feedbacky now, Tony.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, we can hear you much better.
Yeah. Yeah, you can use them. Testing 1, 2.
My phone, I guess, and then do it.
I wonder if Ollie's going to show up. He made such a big stink about it.
So I'm just going to test mine. Kate, can you hear me all right?
Yeah, you're just fine.
Oh, good. I had to isolate the microphone because there was too much feedback, as you noticed.
We noticed a little.
A little bit.
Just a little. How are you, gentlemen? As you can tell, I'm in beautiful Venice. Or not. Or I'm just in my aesthetic.
Well, as you can tell, we're in beautiful Indonesia.
Oh, are you?
Yes, guess who's sitting next to me?
Who's sitting next to you? Hey, Joe! How are you?
Can you hear nothing? She hasn't got headphones on. She can't hear anything.
That, I can't get into the site yet.
Yeah, she's still trying to connect.
Oh, huh.
And do you know who's behind me?
Hello.
Who's that? Oh,
That's
hey!
me, buddy. That's me.
Ah,
That's great. Are you there for Joan's volley class? Or just kicking it in Indonesia?
I'm here visiting because she's just so close. You know, she's my neighbor.
Yeah.
Come to and of course Deepal. I've visited both of them. Although I didn't know I was going to meet Deepal.
Yeah. Oh, you guys haven't met?
No, this is the first time we're meeting in Bali.
Oh, great. That's awesome. How's it going in India?
Oh, it's good. It's great. Commedia is actually kind of picking up. You know,
Are you
especially-
still?
Yeah.
But I am not connected.
Are you still doing that one-man show you had developed for the conference a couple years ago?
Yes, yes, I am. Yes, I am. It's you know, it's evolved better, and I have a new show with
she's
3
been playing
people,
around with those little things that you can do.
which we have completely Indianized the characters, kept the same
Shall I
form,
have a
but
go?
Indianized the characters and made vignettes of different status of society, and we perform with the audience. And we perform, like, we tour India with that. So there are 2 shows touring right
So
now.
where was that link that we had before?
Awesome.
And a lot of schools are now, and universities are now interested in studying Commedia, so that's good.
Yeah, that's great.
What, I'm really interested in that. So how have you adapted the characters to India? I don't think I got to see your performance during the conference.
No, well, the solo show was not so much about Indian characters as much as it was just about, it was why we're introducing Commedia in India through a show. But the three-person play that we have is what we've taken situations from different socioeconomic strata of the Indian society. And then we've put these vignettes together to have like an hour-long performance. Where we explore a lot. It's audience interactive as well, and the audience participates in it, and at the same time, so it keeps really free form. So it allows us to add pieces to the show or take away pieces. As we travel and we get new ideas.
Yeah. Do you find that you are customizing a lot of stuff for your different audiences?
Sorry, what? I couldn't hear you.
Do you wind up changing things? You said you tour. Are you finding that you really need to change the show as you go to different places?
Yeah, we've changed. So we've changed pieces because we've been performing it now for around a year and a half, 2 years almost. So like a lot of pieces have been changed, new pieces have come in, some old pieces have been thrown out. So it's a free flow thing.
Awesome.
And it's we've just kept the backdrop of Commedia, and we don't have a big set, so we can really travel with it.
Very cool. Sorry, I muted Tony while he was helping Joan, and then I can't turn him back on. Tony just gets to watch.
Tony's still trying to help Joan.
Oh, okay. I wasn't able to hear you as he was chatting away. I muted you, Tony. You might need to unmute yourself.
Hello, I'm back again.
Okay, good. All right.
I think muting is good when you're not speaking because there's a lot of microphones.
Yeah. And I can't guarantee that my kids won't come tearing down here and start narrating something ridiculous. So, or my husband. Oh,
Well,
Ollie
I can guarantee there's not going to be much noise from my place because I'm the only one here. So.
Well, if there is, then we'll alert somebody.
Well, no, I did actually get burglarized the other day, so which was no fun. But if they break in now, they're gonna have a problem because I'm here. So.
Okay, Ollie's trying to get in. Let me see if I can invite him directly. So if you see me just sort of randomly scowling, it's because I'm computering and I'm really good at it. I spent all day working on puppets. We've added giant puppets to our show. So it may or may not work. And I'm not a particularly good seamstress. By not particularly good, I mean it's my first sewing machine and my first attempt at sewing. So
Sounds admirable.
There we go. Yeah, it's we are doing a space opera Commedia show. So we're kind of doing a Flash Gordon, and then adding a Sarlacc pit. And as we were touring, we decided that a Sarlacc pit is really just a giant sandy vagina, and so we decided we needed one, obviously, in the show. And so it's a 7-foot-tall vagina puppet that eats people and has tentacles. So, like you do. There's Joan.
There's Joan.
So now the three of us who are sitting here together are actually the only ones on the call with Kate, right? Is there someone else out there?
Yeah, David is trying hard to find his way in. He's apparently spying on us, but he can't find his way yet.
We're being watched.
I'm trying to leave some digital breadcrumbs for him, but I'm not sure if it's working.
I'm sure the NSA is watching as well, and they will find our conversation thrilling.
Yes, Really. It's early morning. You probably
Yes,
don't
I'm
know.
not quite awake. But,
Can you tell Ollie to click on the link that you put up?
That's what I just messaged him that. Were you able to get in and using the link? Was that?
Yeah, that's how we solved the problem. Yeah, that's how Joan got in.
Yeah.
And if you just tell Ollie to use Chrome.
Oh, yeah. Chrome is probably key. Who knows what he's using? He's English. He could be using anything. The Queen's browser, I'm sure, is not compatible with. Oh, where did his message go?
I like your background, Kate.
Yeah. You like it? Beautiful.
That's really, really nice. Makes me think I'm not in Bali. And you're not in Thailand.
Well, yeah, the background, I was assuming my husband would be coming in to cook dinner at some point or another, and figured he probably didn't want to, be subjected to children and dogs running around. So, or I could just be climbing out of a brick wall.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a handful of little opportunities through this thing, but it seemed like, I guess this is closer to Bali.
That one's nice. Yeah.
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 Now I'm climbing up out of the sand. So,
What's the gift this morning?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
What's the talk? Hi.
I can't quite hear you.
Okay.
Huh. Okay, hang on, I think.
Yeah.
Aha, there's Ollie.
Hi, Ollie.
Oh, Ollie, you're muted.
Is that better?
Yeah,
I
that's
might
better.
consider another table because
You know,
cooking
I don't think
down.
I've ever seen you with a mustache.
No, it's new. It's new. The beard is white. We have to put mascara in it for shows with whiteface.
Ah,
It's a thing. What happens when you get old? You put your whiteface on and you put mascara in your beard, but then you can. It does actually make me look about 30. So that's quite good. No one can tell. Good morning. Good evening. Ah, mixed joined.
there we go. Can you guys still hear me with the headphones on?
Yep.
Okay, good. There, you should get slightly less feedback. So, what are you guys doing in Bali? Are you all just enjoying Joan's class?
Good question. No one's on.
No one's here. Deepal and Joan and Tony are all in Bali.
Yeah, well, there we go. That's nice.
So you were talking about a school, Ollie.
Oh, well, I think I was responding to Mace Perlman being enthusiastic, because Mace is very heavily into the Renaissance side of things. So Mace was looking for information to see if there was a school of Renaissance studies in England that might take on a Commedia project. There are quite a few institutes of higher education that are more into Renaissance Baroque art rather than theatre. So when I get a spare half day, I will check. I will have a poke around on their on their websites and see if any of them mention Renaissance live bars. That's a crocodile in Bali, whatever that noise was.
Oh, that's probably the helicopter flying over there.
Or a tuk-tuk going past or something like that. It wasn't from this end. So yeah, I think Mace was just trying to get, and I've seen who knew anything about. Well, I think he was trying. I think Mace's thing is trying to start a school of Renaissance theatre somewhere, and stuff like that. In England, we suffer from Shakespeare, so having a look at anything else other than Shakespeare is a problem. Although yesterday I went for a meeting with Dee Dee Hopkins up in London, and we are plotting, because Dee Dee has extensive contracts in the real theatre world, to try and do host the European Commedia Day next year in London, and we're going to try and combine an academic conference with trying to get loads of venues on London's South Bank, because Dee Dee worked with the National Theatre and she's also done a bit of work now with the Royal Shakespeare Company. And we know people who know Knee High, and the ex-artistic director of Knee High is now the artistic director of the Globe. So we're trying to pull in as many favours as possible and see if people will give us free space for workshops. And once we get free space for workshops, then we're just going to fill them. So yes, that's kind of, that's long term from England. I'm working on a show called Frack Off, doing like a Dario Fo version on having a go at fracking locally with a bunch of students, which is great fun. And 2 members of staff also joined in because they said, "Oh, it's just like the 70s political activism." So so that was fun. And we're also sticking a twins plot in it, trying to combine the British police's noxious habit of putting long-term sleepers into organisations like Greenpeace and things like that to find out what the activists are going on. They've got long-term undercover policemen who have relationships with activists, and then as soon as they got the information or busted a few fakes, they kind of disappear. So we're sticking that in the comedy to see if it can raise a few laughs and things like that. But so yes, it's actually quite fun working with direct politics rather than be all Renaissance and working through parables and stuff like that. So yeah, we're kind of and we're kicking in, and we're going to sell the show to all the anti-fracking groups via the internet as a fundraiser or an information day. So basically, you feed us and get us there. We'll do the show, and then you can take the stage and have a discussion and just gather people together or use this as a fundraiser. Already we've probably got more bookings than we can handle, but there's a bunch of students with all these ridiculous timetables. But the aim eventually, if it comes off as a good show as well as a piece of activism, is to hack it about a bit and double cast it, so we can do it with a cast of 4 or 5, as apart from a cast of 8, all of whom have other commitments, and it's a nightmare. Anyway, the UK reporting, sir.
Ollie, a question.
Hi. Yes.
Hi, Colin. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Do you guys have a date yet? A proposed date for that London thing? Since
it'll be 2017 International Commedia Day.
Oh, so February 25th?
Yes, February. So
and you're just picking one day, or do you want to do like a week or so?
No. Well, we've just done planning. Basically, I went for a planning day with Dee Dee, and we think that to get all we can in, we're going to try and have a 2-day academic conference. We're going to have 1-day academic conference, which we're going to get a university to host, so they handle that. And the theme is going to be Shakespeare and Commedia, obviously, because we have to sell the bard. It's our
right. You got to get your bread and butter in anyway.
Yeah, that's right. Then and that's going to be like a Wednesday. Then the Thursday we're trying to have like what we call workshop lock-in, which is basically all the participants all taking a half-hour workshop in some space, including some academics, well, like that. So that's basically all the practitioners people that can get there, just actually running workshops for each other. Dee Dee is hoping to get a big education plan, so then we have 2 more days, which will be, hopefully she's getting a venue in the middle of London where we can just basically put on a school show, professional show, workshop demonstrations. So a day of workshops for schools and a day of workshops for theatre professionals with shows happening in the evening, and then the Sunday we're just calling Carnival, and it's going to be a networking and a wind down, but we're going to try and get as many people in masks as possible, as a kind of a piece of cheap mass media publicity. That's what. Sorry, I've got a. This is my nearly midnight dull voice. I sound enthusiastic about it, but I've got lots of phoning to do and favours to pull in from academics to say, look, we can do you a conference, and it's good for your kind of academic ego in your university, and we'll just do all the work for you. But you just got to
let me
provide
know
a venue.
how I can help. If there's any way I
Well,
can.
we will. Well, if we can. Well, if it's happening, we'll try and basically, if we just get the venues, it happens on no money. If we get some money, then we're going to try and buy some masks for schools, and then if we get more money, it's come along. There'll be places to stay and everything like that, and we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I admire your changing backgrounds, Kate.
Yeah,
So,
well, I mean, it's built into the program. If you go to the left side of your screen and hit Google Effects, you too can be climbing out of a wall or hanging out of a ruin or near some mountain.
No, that's all right. That's all right.
Or hanging out with pixels.
Whoa, nasty.
But I mean, really, I'm just in Bali with John.
Oh, I wish. It'd be much better than Tallahassee, Florida, which is where I am.
Oh no! What are you doing in Tallahassee?
I'm getting my MFA in directing, so that's what I'm working on now.
Ah.
So
Gotta get your letters in.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, I can get a job that actually pays me some money with that at some point. Good luck with that, right?
Right.
Then I say Commedia, and everybody says, "What the hell are you talking about? What is, I'm like, it's this great stuff. You should come to a workshop with me," which I'm teaching some workshops, and I taught my first one a couple of weeks ago, and after about 2.5 hours, they were dying. They just couldn't go, and they just couldn't go anymore. They're like, "This is too much work. It's too much energy."
Yeah.
Well, welcome to
American actors are generally lazy.
Yeah.
I usually just do 2-hour workshops, and they go home, and they're so sore. Oh.
Yeah.
Everyone is 25 going on 90 in Austin.
Yes. I think it's just general standards of fitness. I'm 55, overweight, and I'm kind of faster and quicker and more alert than most of our undergraduates. It's very scary. Anyway, that's maybe just the north of England.
Hey guys.
Hello.
Hey, I'm so sorry, but I have to run away. I have to attend a class since there's one happening right now. But I just wanted to jump in and be a part of this hangout. I'll catch up more about the talk from Joan and Tony.
Well, it's good to see you.
Great. It's nice seeing you again, DePaul.
You should give a capsule of what's happening in India.
What?
What's happening in India? British report.
So since the Canadian conference, my solo show has been touring the country a lot. It's evolved, it's become a tighter show, and then I created a 3-person Commedia show, which we Indianized to the different socioeconomic stratas of the Indian society, and we made vignettes where we improvised with the audience and also do the traditional form. And we've been touring with that play, and the more we tour and we get ideas, we add stuff to it or we edit stuff out of it. So that's been happening on the performance front. And in the past year, universities and schools have taken a keen interest in Commedia. So I've been teaching a lot of Commedia to the universities and grammar schools around India. And there is a certain sense of recognition right now academically to this form, which is very interesting. So there's a lot to do and a lot of interest in the work. It's a little tricky because people don't have the masks in Canada. You know, they don't know what to do with masks. So that's why they're not sure. But I think Commedia, I mean, it feels at this point that academically Commedia will have a good presence. The audiences are ready for the Commedia style, but the patrons aren't. It's too vulgar for them in a lot of ways, too sexual. So at this point, when we perform, first they question, and then when we say, oh well, it's an Italian classic, then they get confused. They don't know how to confront you with it. So we say, okay, Shakespeare. There was Shakespeare. It's a classic. You don't question it, and so you don't question Italian Commedia. It's not us. It's a classic 16th century tradition. So it's an interesting dialogue that it has started in India, especially with people who see the shows or do my workshops, to really talk about what's sexual and what's vulgar, especially with the new government and the censorship that's going on in the country. Commedia becomes a good point of discussion after every show or workshop as to the form and what has the aesthetics of sexuality versus vulgarity, and how do we define them, and what's acceptable and what's not. So it's a good, I think, interesting, important point of discussion that happens when we're performing or teaching. I think those are interesting things that are engaging to me as an artist right now in India.
Wow.
So,
are you? I did some. Oh god, a long time ago, I did some shows with some Bhavai people in the middle of Gujarat. Have you done comparisons or worked with some of the Bhavayar or the folk performers? Would that be an interesting thing to do? Or sorry, that's a question when you're about to go, isn't it? Sorry, a big question.
The biggest thing, I mean, the form itself has a lot of relationship to the folk plays in India. So the style of it is not something very new to us, because folk plays were performed in, we were not a closed doors theater country. That was, colonialism that started closed doors theater because it's too hot. So everything was happening on a village crossroads for hundreds of people. So the style of Commedia was kind of a part of the folk tradition here. So you see a lot.
That's cool. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. It's a bummer I have to go, but I gotta go. Take care, you guys, and I'll catch up with Joan and Tony to what I missed.
Yeah, and keep us posted.
All right.
Definitely.
Take care, you guys. See ya. Ciao.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
I'm having a twitch. I'm trying to find some photographs in my office. Never mind.
Oh, there's Mickey again. Wonder if he's having trouble getting his video up. Hey, there he is. Hi. Well,
I'm impressed how well this is actually working.
I know, it almost never works. Well, we had some technical stuff at the top, so that was typical. And I was worried with so many people who said they were going to be here that we would run out of room, but
where are they?
I know, exactly.
They'll be arriving late, trapped by the international date lines.
They're fashionably late.
You guys hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, great. I just changed computers.
Yeah, we can hear you just fine.
Okay, great.
We're kind of giving each other a state of the union.
Oh,
What are you up to?
well, right now I'm just starting up 2 new projects. Actually, this is the same thing. I'm doing Commedia on Molière for the first time. I'm doing the Carnival, and I'm doing the first marriage in another group.
There he is. Hi, Mickey.
Hi, Joan. Yeah?
I can hear you.
Yeah, okay, so quiet.
Yeah. It tends to get quiet because you can never tell if there's a lag or if people have just stopped talking. Well, I've been teaching workshops like 2 or 3 a year. This past year I was put in charge of the local theater awards group. So I've been seeing a lot of fairly awful theater in town and teaching workshops based on Commedia to fix the general problems I'm seeing in my community. Namely that my next one that I'm teaching is about intimacy because I watched someone do the play Closer and it was hard to believe that anyone on stage had ever had sex with each other before because no one would touch each other on stage. So we've been doing a lot of intimacy and closeness and touch workshops to try and, I don't know, get people to stop being so damned English on stage.
Darling, I have no trouble with touching people.
Oh, okay, well, Ollie aside.
Just hang on, about a month ago, I went to Amsterdam to see Katrine.
And
And
her
I
baby?
mean, no, it was just about to happen.
Okay.
But I went to see the workshop version of bits of this Hotel Courage show that she's working on with a whole bunch of international people. Some guys from the Jenin refugee camp, some Syrians, a couple of Iraqi refugees, and people. The mask work was fantastic. It was kind of a lecture demonstration, and she was kind of just and they were just introducing some stuff. But that's going to be quite a big and exciting thing. They're planning the big show is going to happen next year. I think around this time next year. But it's been really slowly workshopped up, and they had like sketches and ideas for it, which they were doing in a small theatre in Amsterdam. Because I'm in England, I could go over and see. So I did, and that was good. So yes, no, Katrine's alive and well, doing very well, and that show's good. And there's a nice little team of people behind there. Julia Fila-Canapa is working with her as kind of academic and intellectual advisor or something. They seem to be part of the team, and it all seems to be working very well. So that's good. So just check in from. That seems. I need to check in. I need to do a big Skype with you or somehow get over to dell'Arte and bother you and just talk lots, Jane, at some point. But there seems to be a very good political embodiment of stories because Katrine's thing is using a mask to extract the embodied stories from people, and because of her choice of people she's working with, there was some really harrowing and really funny stuff coming out of the, especially the 2 Palestinian guys she was working with. It's a very good story. And anyway, but anyway, that's something to look forward to, I think. And basically, they're a theatre company who don't own a van or any props because they have masks. And she goes, "Well, we go everywhere by aeroplane because we are international." So I don't know. As an international theatre company, it might be affordable or something. I don't know. Anyway, that's just.
Speaking of affordable, hey, it's Joan speaking. Ronlin Foreman's on his walkabout. I don't know if any of you have read about that. Ronlin resigned as dell'Arte school director last July, and he's leaving for India very shortly. And he's on a world called Walkabout. What is the necessity of theater in this time? And he's going to Zimbabwe and India, Korea, Sri Lanka, Cairo, I think. But Ollie, you might actually catch up with him somewhere along the way. He's going to be supposedly moving around the world for the rest of this year, but I'm not sure. But he's got a Facebook page called Ronlin Walkabout and a website which says he's going and what he's doing.
I've offered him a bed for the night should he ever get as far as England, and he kind of said, "God, wow, that's really enthusiastic. I'll make it to England next year or something." But yes, I'm tracking him down like a yellow dog.
Cool.
we need like a Where's Ronlin kind of little flash around the thing. I'll get in touch with him. There's Andy Gruar in South Africa. There's an awful lot of my lovely professor who is an administrative nightmare is from South Africa, so I may be able to dig up some contacts from him if he's looking for the necessity of theatre and things like that. So yes, I will. Yes, I will see what I will. Yes, I will see what happens. Yes. Okay. Yes. I'll see what, if he's definitely going there. I'll try and find some contacts for him.
As for Commedia back at dell'Arte, Steve said, I'm in Bali right now we're in the last week of our Bali program, and that's why Tony's here also. So oddly enough, three of us are sitting in the same area, except Deepal not sitting. Hey, Tony.
Been there, that's me.
But the Commedia final performance that our students back in Blue Lake are doing is coming up next weekend. I won't make it because I won't get back until February 12th. So actually know what kind of sales are working on back there right now, and sorry that I will miss that. But my own project for the summer is working on a comic mystery that I'm writing for our festival. And that's kind of what's happening back there. Oh, and we also had a lovely lecture demonstration with Newman and saw his studio where he's producing leather masks here in Bali that he's exporting all over the place. And it works out really great. He sculpts the masks. He has a Balinese carver create the wooden matrix and then does the leather work over them. And so we had a great demo and talk from him about what he's doing.
I actually bought 7 of his masks a couple of years ago because I really wanted some leather masks to work with, and I've really liked him. I think he does some really good work, and using them in workshops, they're very effective for what I've been doing and for my own purposes. I wanted that leather feel and that leather quality. I think he does extremely good work. You know, I would love to have some Sartori or Fava masks, but I don't. You know, I don't have that kind of money.
Have you checked out? We use a guy named Jorge Anand. He's based out of Uruguay, and he is by profession he makes bullwhips, but he also makes leather masks, and we've been using his, and they're amazing. The detail on them are they're some of the most incredibly detailed Commedia masks I've ever seen, and we pay like $160 US for them per mask. And I mean, we abuse the hell out of our masks, and they're still looking pretty pristine.
Cool. Well, can you send me that, or can you send that name out to the?
Yeah. Let me.
Be easier to spell.
Totally. Well, and he's got a website that's not his name, but I'll put it in the events.
Cool.
So he's got a full
also,
set of them. Yeah, Tony?
remember there's this guy in Australia called Tony Kashawi. He's also making masks.
Oh, yeah. The shipping is probably the killer.
No, they're not. They're not leather masks. They're what I call replicas, and I think they're fantastic for the workshop because I don't know, they're durable. They're like they can be sat on. They're not so one size fits all. That's my pitch anyway.
What are they made of?
Rubber latex.
Ah, yeah. We've discovered that latex just doesn't work in Austin just because of how hot it gets here when we perform, especially in the summertime, performing in latex at 100 degrees, they start to do weird stuff to your face, for sure.
Yeah, I understand. We actually put padding inside the masks when we're using them for performance, but mainly our performance masks are leather.
Well, our big project right now is you're doing, I told, David, I think is the only one left. We're doing a space opera as our next little sort of theme that we tackle. So we have combed the internet for good spandex, sort of glitter clothes. We made a giant 7-foot puppet that's going to eat people. That's a giant vagina. And, the usual Commedia stuff. So we're going to be having our big costume fitting here in about an hour. So that should be fun. I'm cramming all the boys into giant golden, spandex leotards. So we'll see if I can sell that. Costume.
What did you say the theme was, or the title of the?
It's a space opera. We're essentially doing Flash Gordon as a Commedia and combining a few other elements to it. So there's like a Sarlacc pit that we throw bad guys into. And Ming the Merciless is a woman, and she's an arms dealer who's trying to essentially sell Pantalone and Capitano a Death Star. So the lovers are the ones who pilot the spaceship to try and save planet Earth, and she's kind of the brainiac and he's the meat, and they save the world together. But as far as the structure goes, we're having fun with the idea that they're actually a couple that's been together for a while. So we're sort of exploring what old lover. They're not old people, but what sort of a comfortable love story looks like, and how the sort of comfortable shoe relationship, what the tropes are for those, and exploring those in the narrative. So should be interesting. And I'm discovering that you can sew weave to a giant spandex vagina with a sewing machine. So that was good to know. Yeah. Here's the right here. Here's the tentacle for the giant vagina that is puppeted, and then it's got a let's see, where's up? Yeah. There's a I don't know if you can even see this. This is the maw.
Vagina dentata. All right.
Yeah, of course. And it sort of rises up from its comfortable little nest and seeks out its prey, and then you get eaten by it, and you can it's got a googly eye for the eye, I don't know. Whatever. I'm just giving him as much material to play with before we go into rehearsal. So all the hair that comes off of it is breakaway, so they can rip hair out as they're fighting it. The usual.
When are you doing this show?
I think we open on the road in April, mid-April. We're gonna take it out to Terlingua. We perform in this really small sort of desert art colony just south of Marfa, Texas. And so I think we're going to open it there so we can kick the dust off of it a little bit and then bring it back to Austin, and we'll run through the middle of May.
Well, I might have to make a drive to Texas when my semester's over. I might make a trip to Texas and see this.
Yeah. Well, fortunately, we do. We've started primarily doing 10:30 shows, so that it's sort of the after theater crowd that sees, or just the drunk crowd, and we perform it in bars. So we've discovered that we can, as long as we have masks on, we can really get away with just about anything. So we've been trying to push that and see where people sort of quit being on our team. We're also experimenting with, because it's a space opera, usually the story is told with some big space battle at the end. And so most space operas are sort of told using camera angle. Like you've got your sort of mid-view thing that you see through the dashboard of your spaceship. And then there's the really wide camera angle where you've got like spaceships flying and fighting each other. And so we've been trying to figure out how to accomplish that on stage. And so everyone's got
hats.
Yeah, well, we have everybody's got a fishing pole that we put on a backpack that has a little spaceship attached to it. So we've got these little, I don't know, it's a bit that this might completely fail, but we're gonna see if it works. Where everyone's got sort of a little dashboard. So when you speak, you turn to the audience, and you've got your little dashboard camera kind of thing, and then you turn it, and you've got little blinders on, and then you're just your little spaceship, so that you can have like a big space battle, and then turn to the audience and be like, "Oh, I don't think I'm gonna make it, boss," or whatever, and then turn and dive back into the space battle. Does that make any sense? It feels like crazy. It probably won't work, but we're gonna try it because I've got some ideas about how you can be. One person can be a dashboard, and the other two can be, or three can be your wings with the edge of your dashboard. I don't know. We'll see how it works. It's probably going to take a lot of rehearsal and some really, really particular choreography. But I think we'll be able to pull off the illusion of a space battle, at least. And if our audience is drunk enough, they won't care.
Use party poppers as explosions.
Ooh, yeah. That's a good idea.
Because that's really cheap and funny.
We've been buying up toy spaceships from the internet. So we've got a little legion of spaceships hanging out now, ready to be fitted for their fishing poles, so that we can fly them around on our shoulders.
When we once did a kind of space opera, we used blacklight, but you probably couldn't do that in bars, right?
No, we've got it's an outdoor sort of bar that, sometimes they have aerialists come perform out there. So it's like an outside space that sort of some of the patrons aren't unaccustomed to there being weird stuff going on back there. So we perform there, and they've been a great host. We've bounced around a lot of bars. We did a show at a sort of fancy convenience store once that was both awesome and the worst, because it was alongside a highway, and yeah, it was fun. Anyway, but this place is a great spot to work, but it's outside, and the lighting is always questionable, and the stage is covered in splinters, and tree roaches will scuttle across it in the middle of the show, and we've had stray dogs come join the show, so we're also trying to see if we can put a fog machine out on the stage and see if that's even possible to keep the fog there, because we're thinking we want to use lasers, like laser guns instead of swords for the big fight. I don't know, maybe it'll work. There's a lot of trial and error in this show that we don't usually have to do, but Fortunately, you can return things fairly easily on Amazon because we've been availing ourselves of that quite a bit.
If you want to get smoke that actually light sits through, it's not a smoke machine. It's called a hazer. That's what you want. It's a hazer, because what that does create is it creates just a fine mist, so it picks up the light beam. But I think they're more expensive than smoke machines. But smoke machines are quite cheap now.
For $20 at a party store, and I don't think it's going to work.
We always wanted to use all the big plastic bottles from water coolers as space helmets. They always look the absolute, it's even designed 1950s retro. But then,
we found some giant acrylic fish bowls that I think we're going to try and use because they're ridiculous and they don't, they sort of sit on your shoulders, but not really. So we're trying to figure out if it's worth the joke to have some crappy helmet that's obviously a fishbowl, or if it's just going to be a nightmare. Because we really only have face helmets on for a short while.
Pipe lagging around the edge to give it a rim.
Yeah.
Not cheap. Whether you need insulation in Austin.
Nah.
It was getting sunny over there.
Oh, yeah.
I'll call it my batteries.
Oh, give me just a minute.
So there's 3 live people on the screen now. Tony just went up to get a battery change. Mika, you've restarted your blog, right?
Pardon?
You've restarted your blog.
Yeah. Yeah. This time I prepared before. That I don't have to do it every week.
Okay.
Actually, I started to write just when I came back from dell'Arte, 1993. I have 3 pages of paper for a lecture I did. I still use the papers, but I thought I was going to write them down. It ended up being like 100 papers with really small text, and I thought I would, make a book or something out of it, but it never happened. So I thought I just take all this text and make it a big website.
It's good. I read it. I read your blog. And you remind me of the Buffo book, the James Caputi book.
The what? Pardon me?
The vulgar comedy book.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, Buffo, excellent.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
I'm working on something that is very, I guess it's very Swedish and Scandinavian. It's specs. It's universities. They all have it here, and it's the students make a show, and always from some kind of history angle. This time we're going to do it about I think it's called the South Pacific bubble or something, and it doesn't, it's not really what happened in history, and it's just mockery of it. And then you have the audience have to participate, and they can always stop the show and ask them to do it again. And they will ask that, okay, do it funnier, do it slower, do it anything. And there's lots of songs in it, and every time they have there is an orchestra. So they have for every number they have to train 3 numbers, just in case. Most of the time they have to do it again, and it's a really fun way of making theater, and it's like a fun training thing for them.
Where do you do it?
Pardon?
Where do they do it? I mean, it's not like in a place where people might be drunk, right? Make it funnier.
No, this is this is the school, the Stockholm School of Economics. So they have
okay.
They have a lot of money, and they hire one of the biggest theaters in town. It's called the Maxim Theater. So it's they only do 3 shows. One of them is the headmaster is buying the show, and it's the most boring show for the actors because the audience are so stiff. And then there's 2 more shows, and that's it.
What time of day is it in Bali?
What day is it? It's Monday.
And then what time of day?
Had to think there.
It's 7. No, it's 8 a.m. actually.
Okay. Sorry, it's nearly midnight here, so I'm kind of going a bit at the moment. I'm just seeing bright early morning people.
Yes, and I haven't had my morning coffee yet, or anything like that.
Okay.
So I'm kind of like on I don't know, purr mode. Kind of purring along here, but not particularly, because I have to go shortly to. Our day starts really early here. We have our first class at 7:30. That's what Deepal went off to do. And because it gets hot by 10, it's kind of to do. Anyway, from my 8 a.m. to what time is it where you are, Kate? Kate, what time is it in Texas?
Kate, you're muted.
I'm muted. It's 6:03 right now.
PM.
PM. Yeah.
That's the wine. I thought, wow.
Yeah. The wine. Well, it's Sunday, so you have to start at noon, right?
Cocktail hour. Yeah, sure. It's wine o'clock.
It's always 1 o'clock on Sunday, especially if you go to church. It starts you off nice and early.
Yeah.
Well, it's 5
Okay,
o'clock
well,
somewhere.
I've never met David.
Well, actually, we
David,
met at the we met at the conference a few years ago in Canada.
Okay,
I took
great.
your master's class actually
All right.
there. So I know you, but I wouldn't expect you to remember me.
Well, I can't see you very well. You're a bit shadowed there.
Well, I don't have great lighting in my apartment. I apologize.
That's okay.
I don't think I had a beard. I don't even know what year that was. Was that like 3 or 4 years ago now, right?
Seems like it.
Yeah.
We can't all be sitting
3
on
years
sunny
ago.
terraces in Bali.
3 years ago.
Yeah,
Oh.
you've put out a book since then.
Well, with help from most of the people. Well, half the people here. Yeah,
They still haven't paid me.
apparently, as soon as the book came out, a mate of mine informed me there's a Russian website. What's it called? It's called Library Genesis, which I think Google is trying to block, which is a whole bunch of kind of very expensive academic textbooks that the Russians promptly pirate. But basically, the John Rudlin book and my John Rudlin's book are on it as well. So, if there are expensive books like, has anyone met or come across this woman called Eric Jaffberg? She's come out a couple of books on Commedia and multiculturalism, which has just come out, and there's one on multilingualism. For those who care, she has.
Does she have one on women?
No, that was. This is the. I'm reading all these books now. I'm pretending I'm clever. I can't remember the name. I can't remember the name of the book I'm in. I'll go downstairs and look at my notes. But basically, these books come out and they're like $100 because they only print 100 of them. But it's to do with academics having to print. But some of them are quite useful. But they all tend to get pirated, the really expensive ones, and stuck on this Russian website. So if I find any interesting links to books that we can't afford that are necessary for expanding the Commedia universe, because there's a whole kind of. Sometimes it's rubbish when academics get hold of Commedia theory, but sometimes they can expand upon it and make it, and actually sort of add a bit of clarity. You find that you're doing something through intuition and by your practice, and then suddenly, oh yeah, some academic has made a connection. There was a mask symposium that a guy called Stephen John ran, who's on one of the Facebook groups, and a woman who was does anybody remember Trestle Theatre Company?
Yeah, sure.
One of their members basically did a paper on masks and the supporting neuroscience that was really interesting. And there's a few kind of things. It's basically exaggeration and copying and outlines and certain colours. This is kind of giving you the really short version. All have a much stronger effect on our primal responses. Basically, because looking at an outline is kind of, is it a dinosaur or is it just a tabby cat? Kind of, is it going to eat us? So we are actually primed to recognise things like outline. Masks have outlines. We respond much better to caricatures of something because we recognise them more quickly. So there's an awful lot of more pleasure neurons get fired off in the brain when we see exaggeration. So it's explaining why to some people masks are more amazing. There is this love of masks because they actually, they cut to the chase of it, kind of a visceral excitement more. And then she did a little chat from Sally Cook. Did a little chat about mirror neurons, which are quite interesting things, which are basic human learning. We have them so that we learn when we're a baby by copying people, so that when does something we have an instinct to copy it. And it's one of the agencies of theatre. If somebody does something emotional on stage, we also, up to a certain point, kind of feel that emotion. Not because we're artistic or pretentious, it's because it's our mirror neurons that are firing off. We are actually opening up, we are actually mirroring the emotion we can see. So if you put that through the grinder of exaggeration, which is what a mask does, or a refined process, you suddenly get a much strong, you get the process, which is actually, explains why in the brain that we go, wow, masks, fantastic, and probably why some people, panic about them. I was having a cultural chat with an undergraduate student from Northern Ireland, a member of the self-confessed very intransigent Protestant community, and she's a very good actress, but she has got a fear of masks, and it is that fear, and the fear is entirely to do with actually the letting go when you're wearing a mask. And it's because in Northern Ireland you just have to keep lips on who you are. You have to really keep stum who you are, because if you betray that you're a member of the opposite team in the wrong place, the chances are bad things will happen. So there's a point when a lot of people have been culturally attuned not to give way. And here's some softy drama tutors going, no, surrender to the power of the mask. And you're going, no, that'll get me killed in certain parts of, is it Derry or is it Londonderry? So there's kind of, there's lots of, there's actually quite immediate and contemporary cultural issues with masks and kind of the idea of surrender. So, so there's kind of, it's nice to know that, someone's doing the science to, prove that we're not just a minority interest, a bunch of weirdos who kind of go, masks are great, why doesn't everyone else believe this? You know, so we are the future of theatre, and there are 6 of us or 5 of us. At a funny time of the day in the world, you know, and things like that. I've got another piece of wacko if anyone's prepared to listen for another 10 minutes. Which is kind of, I think it's serious, but I'm not entirely sure. There's a really good book just come out on Elizabethan jigs, which is this strange, like, after-show performance that used to happen in outdoor Elizabethan theatres. And I haven't got the book, otherwise I'd wave it in front of the screen. It's up in my office in Oslo. But it basically says that these jigs were part of the programme, so that when you came to see an outdoor play at the Globe, say, you generally stayed for the jig, and the jig was like an hour long, the end of it, so you went and sat through Henry V, and then there was like an hour-long funny at the end of it, which is when the clown of the company went to the fore. It was music, it was song and dance, it was rhyming couplets, it was blokes in dresses, you know, it was basically very much popular low comedy. And then I read the section of the book that basically said, oh yes, a lot of it was banter with the audience, a lot of it was improvised with the audience with songs and dances, and it gave a few examples of plots, and you went, hang a minute, that's a Commedia plot, or that's got all these theatregrams, and you know, that's using all, you know, hang a minute, you know, we've seen these in Scala again. So suddenly you kind of see in an Elizabethan company, as an afterpiece, the actors who bring, you know, who are mainly comics, are involved in a smaller and slightly shorter show that was still part of it. So, and if you kind of have a look at the fact that the companies like the Gelosi were also performing text, you've got a greater similarity between the way the English companies worked and the Italian companies worked. So I'm kind of beginning to think that the approach a lot of people have been saying about, you know, Commedia was this kind of like, you know, like exotic, interesting thing, you know, that had a bit of improvisation involved in it, and you know, we can't really tell a lot about it. It's something a bit weird. Is if you look at a Commedia company's repertoire of doing, you know, text plays for, you know, the Duke of Mantua, and improvising plays because that was part of what they did. And then you look at the Shakespearean companies who have the same repertoire but go to more text. There isn't really that much difference between the skills between the companies. So I think I'm trying to say there is a thing called European theatre, and as apart from Commedia being very different from what Shakespeare did, or maybe the English were ruined for improvisation because people like Shakespeare and Johnson were all such good poets. Anyway, so that was my kind of, you know, now we know more about the jig, we realise the English actors did comically improvise. It's just that it probably got swamped by the fact that the main artifact we get from early modern Elizabethan theatre is text, you know, of such good quality that we build whole industries on it and then sell it to people as state-of-the-art Elizabethan whatever. Anyway, I thought I did quite well there for 1:15 in the morning without alcohol. Anyway, that's what's turning up when I'm doing too much reading.
So I found that very interesting what you said about masks before for the jig.
Yes.
Next, because I'm here working on my MFA in directing,
Yeah.
I'm learning how to direct. Next year I'm directing for the main stage. I'm directing Servant of Two Masters, and I want to use masks.
Rite of passage, mate. Everyone's you've got to do it.
Haven't done it. We'll do it.
Done it. Three of them.
But I want to use masks, and the head of my program is all but refusing to allow me to use them. And I maintain that it's extremely important part of it. I think it's important for the students as well to learn to use masks. So I could use some help in words to say that can convince him.
Okay, here's what I used when I convinced the head of my old department to let me do workshops for his students that were underperforming in the physical sort of realm. When he told me that they didn't need a math workshop, I followed him around and made chicken noises for a day. See if that works for you.
I'm gonna go ahead and
Your
say that
mileage
one's.
may vary.
That one's out.
I don't think that one's gonna work for me, Kate. I
But
appreciate
what
the
is his
suggestion.
objection? What's his objection? I don't understand.
I think his objection is he believes we don't have the talent and that I can't pull it off. That's what he's said, is that it's too much work to try and get them to use masks, which I
What?
disagree with.
What
Is he an expert?
Bet him.
No, if there's anybody at this school that is an expert in masks, it's me, and I'm sure as hell not an expert. But I'm the only person that does physical theater. I'm the only person that does mask work. There's no professor I can even turn to. So that makes me, and you know, I talk to people about Commedia, and I talk to the people getting their PhDs, and I know more than them, which I mean, doesn't surprise me. But you know, I'm at a loss for my own benefit.
I can offer a suggestion.
Please.
It sounds very obvious, but what I would do to convince somebody is that the students that you're directing lack physical commitment, and the masks bring out the physicality of the actor. I often say to
You're breaking up.
and you ask the actor to try and keep the same characteristics, the large physicality and the improvisational nature.
I think I got about half of that, Tony. You disappeared about halfway through.
Yeah,
But
same.
Damn, it was a gem.
well, I'm sure it was, but
Do you want me to try?
Yeah, try again one more time. Let's see.
Okay. I try and convince the authorities that exploring rehearsal process with the masks it brings the actor out of themselves. They lose themselves. They learn large physicality, and then when you come to performance, you take off the mask, and then you ask the actor to try and keep the same physicality they learnt with the exaggerated character of the mask.
Okay.
Sounds good. I'd vote for that. But basically, I'll just run some mask classes. Just do mask improv, even on a Keith Johnson basis. Just have a discussion with the students about, you know, the level of actually physicality. You know, ask your professor to join in these classes. He won't, because professors don't.
Well, you know, like I said, I've started doing Commedia workshops, so I can start bringing kids that are interested in it, because I think, I mean, it's the best thing I ever did for my abilities as a performer is study Commedia, and so I mean, I fully believe that it's one of the best things they can do as far as being a performer. But you know, I actually had to take a movement class last semester with the professor that does teach movement, which is and she had some people use masks one day, and her comment was, well, look, we'll just see what happens, because it does something, but I'm really not sure why it works. And I just kind of kept my mouth shut, because it's typically not good to undermine people, but you know, I wanted to say, well, it's because a mask doesn't mask, it unmasks. But I just kept my mouth shut.
The trouble is with I think because a mask is essentially an experiential thing. You just have to do some mask work with a group of people and try and measure and try and get them to decide on the level of actually physical commitment. I'm surprised there's nobody. You know, I'm surprised there's no one within, like, America's huge, but you know, who could come and. I don't know. There's so many books on Commedia. I'm surprised that your prof hasn't read any of them, or you know, all the.
American universities are awful, Ollie. You're the department that I just graduated from. There was a man teaching Commedia, And I found his notes on it, and he had literally printed every shitty website that we laugh at, and that was his teaching reference, and he just read them in class, like just read them. I mean, it was unbelievable. It was horrifying. I mean, when I finally, one of my last papers I wrote was one of these. It was my last graded paper that basically said this department needs someone to teach movement that has ever done it before. Like,
What?
they were advertising.
People need
Do it.
experience?
Just put the mask on before you teach how to wear a mask. Just wear it for like an afternoon, even. It was incredible. I mean, the way that physical theater is. Well, oh, Jean Giacomo is on. He was in the exact same department. Hey, Jacques, how's it going?
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you.
Dear Jan.
Is it his birthday?
No, 4 days ago.
Oh, I was about to say, it's not his birthday.
Yeah, it was his birthday. Sorry.
We were just discussing the physical theater curricula at Texas State University.
It's maybe we ought to have a slogan like improving Commedia standards everywhere.
Movement standards across. It doesn't even have to be Commedia. I mean, I'm not a stickler about that kind of thing. They just need to actually learn how to use their bodies.
Well, and I mean that's a problem with American school of thought. Anyway, we spend too much time from here up, and we don't train the body enough. I mean, obviously, there are schools like dell'Arte and
There's nothing like dell'Arte. There is only dell'Arte.
Well, I'm saying, dell'Arte is obviously sending people out that are changing this. There are other places that are changing this. I mean. So it's changing, and I think those of us that are involved in it are aware of it enough to move towards changing it and say, oh, we've got to do both. You've got to do the psychology and the body. You can't, but don't neglect the body. You've got to train that. But here in America, we're so Lee Strasberg really ruined us on a lot of things, and it's he did a lot of good things, but we got to spend a lot of time undoing some of that stuff. I think that's my personal opinion, but
I think Ollie, the book, the Rutledge Companion, is it's a lifesaver. It's like throwing out this lifesaver because when I was reading that, it was just full of information and of course very diverse information as well. And it's wonderful to be able to say, okay, this could be the book of facts that we can rely on.
Well,
yeah. No, you can't rely on all of it. You have to argue with some of it.
Well, if I wasn't at a university, I wouldn't be able to get the book. Thankfully, the library, I can get it through them because I don't have the money to, I
can send anyone a PDF of it if they want it.
I got it from Misha, by the way.
Yes. No, because it is ridiculously pricey, and as it's on Library Genesis already, I'm not making any money out of it.
Yeah, I mean, I would love that if you could do that.
Okay. Yes. Yes. Did you just Facebook friend me?
Yeah, we. I think I did. I think I sent you a request.
Well, that's all right. Now, okay. Now I know who you are now. Yeah, no, I can track you down like a yellow dog. Thinks. No, it is about improving standards, isn't it? I mean, that book. One of the reasons that got me going on that book was on the old Commedia Yahoo group. A massive flame war started between some people who'd just done a father workshop who were kind of saying father is God, and some people were going, well, there are other gods, and these people who were saying, there might be other gods, were being kind of flamed down in most impolite terms. So it was kind of like, I was going, actually knowing about Commedia doesn't necessarily mean you have an open mind. Because that kind of came to me through, having tracked it down and tracked down people who were doing it. So I kind of, every step was, wow, this is wonderful information, rather than, oh, this is the comedy method, and Anyway, so are those your children, Kate?
No, those are not. I'm muted. No, my son came down and pointed at you, and then my dog decided to nest in my vagina.
Okay.
I have to go, you guys. I have to work with them at 8:30. So it's good to know.
Good to see
Ciao
you.
for now.
Nice speaking with you, Joan.
Bye.
Right, bye, David. Nice to see you again. Ollie, always a pleasure. Make
Yeah, I will
ditto.
I'm still trying to find money to get over to your obscure corner of the States.
I wish I was a millionaire.
Yeah, well, I've even got the promise of someone's going to drive me all the way from Sacramento. So I just need to get there.
It's a beautiful drive. I recommend starting from like Seattle and going south.
Yeah. Oh, well, see, yes, actually, no.
We'll
Yes,
keep a
anyway.
light on.
Okay, well, I'll get there.
I mean, I'm in the same country and I can't even get out there. So.
Did you say you're in Florida?
Yeah, I'm in Florida, so I'm like at the farthest extreme from that, you know.
Yeah, bummer. Well, if you make it to Austin, we'll put up a bed for you if you want to come see our show.
Sounds good.
God, it's so good.
Where are you, Jean? Are you in Italy?
Nope. Did you hear me?
Nope. Yeah, you. Where are you, John?
I'm in Italy.
Yeah.
You're in
What are you up
Rome?
to?
Europe.
Europe. Where's that?
Old continent.
Europe.
Turkey.
Rome, actually.
Oh.
But in 5 hours I have to be in Florence, so.
Will you kiss your beautiful wife for me?
Sure.
No.
He's sleeping.
Oh, well, then in the morning.
Yeah, 1:30 a.m. here.
Oh.
Yeah, Ollie's still up too.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you don't have bourbon out. What's the matter with you guys?
No, I am going to have burnout in a moment. I'm going to kind of interview Dee Hopkins yesterday, and then kind of talk Commedia all day, and travel back from London and dealt with kids all morning.
Are you commuting from Gloucester?
I go up and stay there 4 days a week, or 4 working days, and come back for the weekend. It's only a 3-hour drive. It's only a 3-hour drive.
Right.
So, that's all right. I mean, they pay me money to do this PhD. We do 6 hours teaching, and they pay accommodation and a small amount of money. So, it's a good deal.
Right.
If I don't
Nice work
get
if you can get it.
That's how I'm getting my MFA.
Yes, we do the teaching. We are someone's bitch.
I feel sorry for the people that have to learn from me. That's all I can say.
Oh.
Because what I realized about graduate school is that there are no right answers, but I am always wrong, and I know less today than I did yesterday.
I think that's the academic industry, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
That's the academic industry. I think I am going to fade out, ladies and gentlemen. Jan, it's been wonderful, and I will see you somewhere in Italy at some point.
You have to come back, yeah, sure.
I will, yes. Well, yes, I think Scott says I can come and visit them in a year's time or something. He likes me, but only in a year's time.
Let me know when you show up in a year's time, and I'll just show up on his doorstep.
Yeah. We'll do that. Yes. Okay. Oh, nice to meet you. Nice to meet everybody.
Hang on. Ollie, before you go.
Yes.
I just wanted to say that I haven't finished editing our interview as yet, but I'll send it to you. And I just wanted to say you gave an update of where the state of the UK is, and we got another update in Texas. And I just thought I'd give an update for Australia. The only thing is that the update in Australia is actually what I'm doing here in Bali, which is doing some interviews with Joan and now Deepal, because I've got them both here, and maybe even Newman if I can pin him down. So hopefully I'll have lots of interviews, and mainly I'm going to be talking to Joan about her contribution to the companion on Commedia. So,
are you doing a podcast?
Yes. We've got Joan right in front of me, fortunately, so I'm going to be doing a real live interview. But hopefully I'll do a Skype call interviews like I did with Ollie just recently.
Very cool.
I'd like to track you all down eventually.
Make sure you put a link to your podcast in the little event page so that we can all follow you.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to say that before you went, Ollie.
Okay. Thank you very much. Well, I'll talk to you in a week, Tony.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Health and happiness, ladies and gentlemen. I will.
Bye.
And Olvis has left the building.
What are you up to, John?
I'm sleeping.
You're sleeping?
I'm tired. I'm teaching, I'm doing a lot of things, and commuting between Rome, Florence, Arezzo.
How far away are they?
Arezzo is about 2 hours and a half by train. Unfortunately, it's not on the fast line, so Florence is more far away, but you reach Florence easier than Arezzo. So.
Yeah. Oh, is there? You have to take 2 trains to get to Arezzo? Come on.
No, only 1 train, but it takes more time.
You have to go around a mountain, fight off a troll.
No, not really. It's just
slower speed train.
Just I don't know. Weird. It's not straight.
Zigzag? Yeah.
Huh?
Zigzag.
Yeah, kind of.
Did you see pictures of Adam in our last show?
Sorry?
Jean, did you see pictures of Adam in our last show?
Yeah, he was very sexy.
Yeah.
That's why he ended up in the hospital after, right?
Probably. That's what's into the hospital. Sorry, Adam is one of our players, but Jean and Adam are pretty much 2 peas in a pod when they get together. They just sit in the corner and chuckle together. Like a pair of knuckleheads.
What's up, Maestro?
Hey, you're still alive.
Yeah, I made it. I did not die.
How are you?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Doing pretty good. Trying to stay out of the damn hospital.
There's a strange light effect. You look like in heaven. I don't know.
Sorry, it's this goofy background I've got.
Oh yeah, that's badass.
Yeah, it's like he's climbing out of a. There.
Awesome.
Okay. Back
How are
to
you
reality.
doing over there, man?
I'm fine.
Cool.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Cool.
Everyone, this is Adam.
Hi.
He plays Pulcinella primarily, and he's Capitano in the next show.
Yeah, in the next show.
Yeah, Capitano. He played our lover, like the berries and cream guy. I don't know if that translates at all. He had a little blue, little pink, sailor suit, and a little dicky, and a little bob wig. And he played sort of an imbecile little lover.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah. I'm gonna play the lover. I'm gonna do it in a doily. I also got this badass Chewbacca bag. Looks like Chewbacca's bag. I'm gonna wear it in every damn show if I can. So what's going on, man? What do you? I guess I'm just kind of conversation with John while everybody else.
Yeah, we should have a private conversation.
Yeah, right. Get a room, guys. Awesome. Good seeing you, man. How are things in Italy? Are you still in Italy?
Yeah, yeah. I'm
Yeah.
teaching in Arezzo, and Florence, Rome.
Yeah, I saw like an article with you in it and stuff as well. Awesome, man.
Sorry? An article?
Yeah.
No, it's because I'm teaching at the Accademia dell'Arte in Arezzo.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, with Scott McGehee, right? And McKelly?
Sorry?
With Scott and McKelly, right?
With Scott. No, Michele is no more there. It's Fabio.
Oh, is it? Fabio,
Fabio Mangolini.
yeah. Trying to remember his last name. I knew it began with an M. Cool.
Yeah.
What
Fabio
class
is
is it?
Fabio is the artist. Well, kind of artistic director of the master in physical theater.
What classes are you teaching over there?
Now, I'm teaching in all the three programs. A bit of aesthetic history, Italian for actors, Canovaccio writing, and Commedia. Next semester I will teach Commedia for the undergraduate students. And I the coordinator of the group of students from Coastal Carolina University. There is every year there is a group of students of the BFA in physical theater. They spend 1 year of the 4 years in Arezzo. And
Should have gone there.
hmm?
Obviously, I should have gone there.
Yeah.
Well, that's a newer program, isn't it?
Sorry?
With Coastal Carolina's only been doing that a couple of years, though, right?
No, it's already a few years, but this is the first year that they have a big group. So big. I mean, there's 6 students. So it's the first time that they have the program completely by themselves. So.
Oh, Matt Wilson says that everyone has to do something February 25th. He is at a Garth Brooks concert.
Lucky.
Are you guys all signed up to do something for Commedia dell'Arte Day?
I don't know. Maybe. Which day is? Maybe. Which day is the 25th?
Thursday.
Thursday. Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah, you just need to sign up on his website so that he can add it to the list of things.
Yeah, I know, like the other years. Yeah.
Are you performing at all, Mickey?
No, not very much. Very little.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that last part.
Oh, sorry. I'm not performing very much myself anymore. I'm mostly teaching and directing. It turned out that way, I would say. When I came back from dell'Arte in the 90s, there was no one in Sweden to play with. I started to teach and then to direct, and that's the way it goes.
Right. So, do you have any shows coming up that you're directing?
Pardon?
Do you have any shows coming up that you're directing?
Yes, I'm doing a student show coming up in March, and we will tour it in Sweden and Finland. It's that is the one built on a Molière Scanarelle. That one is.
Interesting. Where in Finland are you touring?
We don't know yet. It's still in planning.
I've got a girlfriend who just moved back there.
Yeah, it's going to be with the Swedish-speaking parts, which is by the coast.
Well, my girlfriend Ia is in Helsinki right now. Can I speak Swedish there?
I hope to get to Helsinki as well.
She's fantastic set designer. She's one of the best
Pardon?
set designers. She's a set designer.
Oh,
that is awesome. She basically makes amazing, huge sets out of recycled stuff that she finds in dumpsters, and it's always really incredible.
do you know which theater she works in?
She's getting a degree right now, but she worked in Austin for a long time and moved back there to go to graduate school. Let me look real quick. Uh, yeah, her sets are some of the most amazing things I've ever seen. She did, uh, oh, where was it? Oh, she did The Tempest, and she did the set design for for The Tempest, the Shakespeare play.
Yeah, yeah.
And she went and found a whole bunch of like plastic water bottles and melted them so that they looked like huge sculptured waves that you could walk on, and that was the set, was just this huge sculptural wave installation with these like ripped up wooden pallets that she like broke apart and nailed back together to as like a giant island that the actors could kind of climb around. It was amazing.
Cool.
Yeah, let me see. She is attending Alto University.
Oslo? No.
No, AALTO.
I don't know that.
Yeah, it's a school of arts, design, and architecture in Helsinki.
Okay.
So, that's what she's up to, and apparently she's coming back when she's done. But she's in Helsinki now, and if you're there, I'll tell her for sure to go see.
Yeah. If we come to Helsinki, we will let her know.
Well, she's Finnish. Finnish? You say Finnish?
Yeah.
She's from Finland and found herself in Texas. So. Did we lose Tony?
Pardon?
Did we lose Tony?
No.
No, he's still kind of there. Well, I have the rest of our actors coming over in about 20 minutes to try on costumes.
Oh, yeah.
So I need to get going here fairly soon.
Yeah.
Speaking of costumes, that's what I'm studying. It's got this nice $150 book, so I can study the history of Western costuming.
Oh.
Good times.
Yeah.
I'm learning all sorts of new words.
I need to see if any of these sparkly gold unitards fit the gentlemen that I purchased them for. And whether once they wear them, they're willing to, once they try them on, if they're willing to wear them on stage. They say they are, but once they put them on, it tends to change their mind.
Well, you're the director, right?
No, technically not. We devise as an ensemble, so I'm the managing director, but I tend to do all the design work and Mr. Grant. So usually when I get the wild hair at my ass to put everyone in sparkly golden unitards, they have to talk me out of it or be really adamant about it in some way, and then we'll scrap it and start over. But they all said they'd wear sparkly golden unitards, so I'm going to hold them to it until they give me some compelling reason to get something else. Because, I mean, sparkly golden unitards.
Well, there's nothing as dangerous as a good idea, right?
Right.
It's easy to get rid of bad ideas. It's hard to kill good ideas.
Totally. I rely on that quite a bit. Well, I also challenge them to come up with something funnier. Like, okay, you don't want to wear the sparkly gold unitard. Come up with a funnier costume or a more awesome costume. Can't do it.
I don't think you can.
Yeah, our guy playing essentially Flash Gordon is in gold. I found he's like I found it on a bondage website. They're like these spike-shouldered like straps. But
What is this show? I mean, like now, like
I don't even know. It's getting weird. It's
a
getting
bondage
weird.
website? Good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man eating vaginas and bondage. Come on.
Once you're shopping for costumes on the bondage website, you know it's gone down a weird path.
I've got to come to Texas.
Yeah. Come on and see it.
Yeah, I just got on your website, so I know I see it there too. Let's see. Siege of the Dark Nebula.
Yeah, that's our next show.
Lasers, spaceship, monsters, masks.
Yep.
Sounds good.
Ideally, we'll be doing promo pictures if everything fits everyone. We'll do them in the next week or so. Oh, and the wigs have to come in, so that won't happen till after Mardi Gras.
Well, you guys, it's getting 1:45 here.
Yeah.
I'm going to bed. Thanks a lot.
Good to see you. Yeah, absolutely.
Nice meeting you. Good night.
Nice meeting you. Good night.
Yes, nice meeting you. Good night.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us, John.
And I might say goodbye as well. Go and video some of the classes here that John's running.
Awesome.
I'm jealous. I wish I was there. It sounds absolutely fantastic.
Totally. Hey, make sure that you send us all a link to your podcast, Tony.
Sorry, I lost connection then. What happened?
Oh, I was saying, make sure that you send us all a link to your podcast.
Yeah.
Sorry, say that again.
Make sure that you send us a link to your podcast.
Oh, thank you. Yes, of course. Yes.
And we're all jealous of you being in Bali.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I did that on purpose, actually. I wouldn't have missed out on this hangout just to show.
Right.
I'm being served a beautiful fruit breakfast at the moment.
You poor thing. You poor thing.
Sounds awful.
Oh, and Kate,
Yeah.
I'd love to chase you up on your contribution to the Rutledge Companion as well.
Sure. Happy to do that.
I'd like to. Yeah, because I want to try and track down everybody, if it's possible. The list is just enormous. It's about 4 or 5 pages long.
It's huge.
The contribution there. Yeah.
Well, let me know if you don't have
Okay.
contact information for folks, because I mean, obviously
Okay.
Ollie has it, but I've got a few.
Okay.
contacts too.
Bye-bye.
Great.
Ciao.
Yeah.
Ciao.
Bye, everybody.
Ciao.
Ciao.